Hi there, this is Heather Fiore with Free State Nutrition, and I wanted to give you a couple of, well, I hate to say I want to give you words of advice because that's not my favorite way to put it, but a couple things. Wanted to wish everyone happy holidays, and wanted to address something that's pretty common around the holiday times and has to do with diet culture. And a lot of times people are already maybe on their, New Year's resolution diet, or maybe they're just chronic dieters and they've been on something for a while. But it seems like there's a lot of diet talk that goes on at parties, at workplaces, and with family. And so I wanted to encourage you to not participate in it and think about approaching food in a very different way. So one of the things that I do, one of the main things that I do in my practice that I really love doing is helping people through a process called intuitive eating. And I'm not going to be able to do that for you right here in this very short video, but I want to plant a seed maybe that this might be a better way. When you approach food with from a place of restriction, then it only makes those foods that are, on the naughty list, so to speak, more appealing. And it becomes really hard to resist them. And maybe you do for a while, but at some point, you don't resist. And then you have this feeling of being out of control. And anyone who's been on a diet knows what I'm talking about. That feeling of like, well, I took one bite, I already screwed up, I might as well keep going. And then you become this sort of bottomless pit and you're just like, how did I even eat so much? But you eat the whole thing, right? Or you just keep eating all the other things that you also wanted to eat and were trying to resist. And then you have this feeling of like, well, see, like I can't be trusted. I can't eat these things. I will just go and eat them all and forever and I will never stop. And then there's the guilt that comes after that, right? So it's not that you lack willpower. It's not that you are weak or lazy or any of those things. It's that you've placed your body in a state of restriction, and that's the response. That's what happens. It's really biological. It's normal in that situation. So it's not that you can't control yourself or that you're addicted to food or anything like that. It's merely that you're coming from this place of restriction, and that's the response your body gets when you finally do allow it to eat these things that are like off limits. So think about that. That is a huge issue and takes a long time to undo. And also think about how you talk about food to other people. It's so, I don't know, stereotypical even to just say, oh, I'm being bad today because I'm eating these desserts or these cookies or whatever, or, all that kind of talk about around food. Either, like I said, at parties, at work, there's lots of food at work all December long. And then when you're together with your family too. And all this talk about what are, how you're managing your food and whether you did enough exercise, whether you earned the right to eat the food or, or whatever. So I really encourage you to at least not participate in that kind of conversation, to just, walk away or say, that's not what I have going on right now. I don't know. I don't even know what the right response is. You tell me, what's a good way to respond when somebody sort of trying to engages you in that conversation? Because for me personally, it takes everything I have to not want to like launch into a discussion about intuitive eating, which is not, it's not really the right forum for that. So it's not the best response. And I haven't figured out what's the best way to, I don't really want to talk about diets right now. So anyway, that's that discussion. On a separate note, because what follows Christmas and winter or December holidays is, of course, New Year's and then New Year's resolutions. What I thought I would just mention is this great podcast that I really like. I don't listen to it as often as I wish I did, but I'm always pleased when I do. And it's called Happier, Happier with Gretchen Rubin. And I'll show you. Hello, there it is. Okay, there she is. And she does the podcast with her sister. And so they're really fun. And, they have a long history, obviously, as sisters. And so there's that. But it's very positive, not in a like self-help kind of, get under your skin kind of way, but just in a way that, they just keep things positive and help you to be happier. Like it's as simple as that. That's kind of the goal, is just like, what are some ways that we can make our lives happier? And so one of the things they do is I guess they just did it this year for the first time, was they had this 18 in 2018, I think is what they called it. And they had like these, goals that they were going to do, things that they were going to accomplish. And then they also had like their listeners submit their 18 for 18, like what are they going to try to accomplish? And it's not like major goals like, it could be like get a promotion at work, but it might just be like, I want to put some photo books together, or, I want to get my will finally like settled, for example. So, and then at the end of the year, they kind of go through like how they did. And again, just keeping things positive and supportive. And anyway, I just really enjoy it. And I think it's a good way for people to kind of approach the new year, not in a way that's destined to fail, but in a way that's, that's only positive and only going to help you be better and be happier. So, what could be wrong with that? So that's all I got for you today. I hope you'll come back for tea time tomorrow. We're talking about a weird diet, the Gerson therapy diet or something. It's interesting, I'll tell you that much. So please come back for that tomorrow with Accomplished Health and Wellness at 12:30 Central. And yeah, I will see you then.